Hey everybody, what's up? And welcome to my channel. It's a Hardback Life. My name is Jordan, and it is currently sometime after 2 a.m. But I am up because, whew, it was a long day. And my family decided to play not just one, but two games of our family card game called Oh Hell. Oh Hell is basically like, if you ever played Phase 10, it's basically that. Except you have, like, basically, you know how you have 10 phases? You have 7. Anyway, that's enough about that, but that's why I'm up, because, we played cards twice, and yeah. But anyway, I decided, since I am up, I am gonna do a book haul for you guys. Now, I have bought I think I have a list of 23, I have 23 books total in my own book haul. So, let's get started. Well, actually, before we get started, I just want to say this non-related bookish thing. Right here. I love music so much, you guys, and one of my favorite artists just dropped her 4th studio album on Friday. Ellie Goulding. Ellie Goulding's new album, Brightest Blue. Go pick it up, you guys, or download it. Whatever you want to do. Or just look up her music if you haven't heard of her. Which, if you haven't heard of her, that's strange, because she's had quite a few big hits. Like, Burn is a huge one. On My Mind is a really, really popular one. Anything Can Happen, Lights. Those are just a few. Like, okay, just even go to the Divergent soundtrack. She did like 3 songs for that soundtrack, and they were played in the movie. So, yeah. Anyway, there's that. And then also, I just want to share real quick recent reads that I have read so far. I've read a total of 3 books in July so far, which is not much, I know. But I read The Vanishing half at the beginning of the month. It was a carryover from last month. So good, you guys. This is about twin sisters who grew up in a small town in Louisiana called Mallard, and they run away from home when they're 16 to basically live a better life. They're light-skinned African American young women, and this book is mainly about identity. I'll tell you more about it because I'm going to do a book review soon. But I finished this 2 weeks ago. The Vanishing Half by Bri Bennett. And then I also, second book I read this month so far is the first book in the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, called Stormfront. Such a good book. This is about a detective who is a wizard as well, and he helps the police investigate paranormal situations, supernatural situations, if you will. First book, I gave it 4 stars. Vanishing Half, I gave 5 stars, by the way. And the most recent book I actually finished today, called Children of Time. It's the first book in a duology by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I gave this book 2 stars. Yeah, I wasn't much of a fan. It's a sci-fi, which I don't read much sci-fi. It's basically one of those first contact books. That's all I'm going to say about it, because, like I said, I gave this book 2 stars, but I finished it, but I gave it 2 stars. Alright, so that was all the books I've read so far. Now let's get into my book haul. By the way, some of these books are from Goodwill, which is where I work. Some of these books are from Barnes & Noble, and then some of these are from Half Price Books. Well, a couple of them. I'll let you know. Or, well, if the book has a sticker like that means it's from Goodwill. And I just haven't bothered to take the sticker off yet. Alright, so let's get into the official book haul. First book I picked up is Stephen King's Pet Sematary. I am so scared about this, you guys. Really scared. I've always been afraid to read Stephen King. Really, really afraid. But I've decided, as part of my 2020 bookish goals, which I did not put this on my bookish goals video, which is crazy, I'm going to attempt to read a Stephen King book and more of his stuff. And I chose to read Pet Sematary first. I technically have like 4 or 5 of his other books, but they're not the really popular ones. And I want to read a really popular one first, just to see what I thought about it, and then continue on. And this one is a really popular one. It's also very scary, I've heard. And obviously there's a cat on the cover. Before I bought it, I told someone that I was going to read Pet Sematary first. And they were like, do you have a cat? And I was like, no. And they're like, good. And yeah, so my read Stephen King first book that I'm going to read. Pet Sematary, I'll probably tackle this in August. Next book is the 3rd book in the Percy Jackson series, Titan's Curse. I got this at Goodwill as well. You can see the sticker. My current copy of this book that I have is kind of trashed, so, which is sad, because I usually do take care of my books. It's just I kind of neglected them, especially this series. I read the first 3 all the way through. This is my favorite book in the series, by the way. And then I got to the 4th one, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and I didn't like it, and so I DNF'd the series. But it is my goal to reread and finish the Percy Jackson series all the way through. And I need you guys to keep me accountable for that. This next book, you guys, is a huge classic. And I'm really, really excited to read this because one of my favorite authors loves this book. And that is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I've actually never read a Charles Dickens book either. Well, okay, A Tale of Two Cities, but okay. I should say I've never read a Charles Dickens book for fun. But yeah, I read A Tale of Two Cities in high school, which that was such a long time ago, my sophomore year. And then my favorite author, Cassandra Clare, one of her favorite books is The Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. She quotes it in a lot of her books. So, because she uses, if you don't know, Cassandra Clare likes to put quotes like at the beginning of her chapters, and the quote is somehow related to the chapter. So, yeah. Great Expectations. Another classic. Now, this one is also Goodwill and this is True Colors by Kristen Hanna. I don't really know much about it, but I've heard great things about this author. So I'm going to go into it blindly. This is a classic, you guys. This is called Things Fall Apart by Chinua Akabe, I think is how you say his name. I promised myself that I would read more literature by African American authors, and this is obviously it's a 50th anniversary edition, which is really cool. I got this at Goodwill. I don't really know much about it, except we learn a lot about. Yeah, we learn a lot about this man's village. So yeah, I'm really excited for that one. And you got The Help by Catherine Stockett. This is about a black maid named Abilene, who's living in Jackson, Mississippi in the 1960s. And she basically, takes care of, a lot of white people's children and other stuff. And in this book, I think the main character writes a book. And she also gets revenge on one of the other main characters. There's other stuff to it, but I've seen the movies like bits and pieces anyway, and I loved what I saw, so I'm going to read this finally. Next book, another Goodwill buy, The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. This is another book to movie adaptation that I have seen. I did not even know it was a book until I randomly saw it at Goodwill this last weekend. So I'm really looking forward to this because I love the movie with Sandra Bullock and Ashley Judd and a few others. I forget. Now, these next two books are the first two books in a series that I was planning on reading this month, at least the first one, because Jessie May, on her channel, she created a book club called Shelf Space, where she and another booktuber read a book, and then they just have a live show at the end of the month talking about that book that they read. And all of us basically can join in, like read the book and then discuss it with them on the live show. And that's what I plan on doing. And the book they chose for the month of July is Malice by John Gwynne. This is the first book in the Faithful and Fallen series, which is 4 books. It's a quartet. And then I also I got this half price books. I ordered it and then it came to me. I actually talked about it on my TBR for July, but I didn't have it then because it wasn't mailed to me in time to talk about my TBR. But I have it now, so woo, and I've already started it. And then the next, it's upside down. The next one, like I said, is the second book in the Faithful and the Fallen series, called Valor, by John Gwynne. And so yeah, I'll probably read that one in August. Now, you guys, this next one is a childhood love of mine, this series. It's a middle grade. I absolutely loved it. This one is called Charlie Bone. And I have the first two books with me. Charlie Bone is about a boy named Charlie who gets sent to this academy because he has developed this strange ability where he can, I guess, talk to, or he can, what was it? He can hear people talking in photographs. It says it right here. Yeah, he can communicate with people in photographs. And there's a lot more to it. This is the first two books in a 8 or 9 book series. So yeah, it's called Charlie Bone. And it's written by Jenny Nemo. I used to have the first couple books, used to have these, and then I don't know what happened to them. It just, they randomly got lost or something. I don't know. But this is obviously a middle grade fantasy that I absolutely loved. I remember I read probably the first 5 books. So yeah, Charlie Bone. So I said that I read the first Dresden Files book called Stormfront earlier this month. And I went to Barnes & Noble today, or well, yesterday I should say, and I picked up the second and the third books in the series. Second one's called Full Moon, and third one's called Grave Peril. I'm excited to read these, you guys. I loved the first book. It made me laugh at parts. It made me freaked out at parts because the main character just gets himself into a lot of bad situations. But he's very ridiculously funny and other stuff. Sorry, you guys. It's, like I said, it's after 2, so I'm going to be going to bed a little bit here. But I thought I'd share a lot of these books with you first. And then the next book is also another Kristen Hanna book. This one is called Distant Shores. I got this at Goodwill as well. There is a Target sticker, so obviously whoever bought this at Target at some point and never took the sticker off. But I don't care. I'm going to take the sticker off. Both of them anyway. I don't know much about this one too. I just picked it up because Kristen Hanna, I've heard, is really good. I know she's responsible for writing The Nightingale and The Great Alone. 2 books that I need to read. The next 3 books are part of a trilogy called, I don't know if it's called the Shadow and Bone trilogy or if it's the Grishaverse trilogy. It's set in the Grishaverse, and by that, I'm talking about this book series. I'm going to say the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Yeah, that's what it's called. That's what it says it's called. Shadow and Bone trilogy by Lee Bardugo. I can't talk, apparently. So, Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising, which is the final book in the Grishaverse and the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I have been wanting to read these books since I've heard of them, which was sometime last year. I didn't know they existed until sometime last year. because I've never heard of Lee Bardugo until sometime last year. And then I also, you can't see them, but I bought Six of Crows duology, and I shared that in my first book haul, I believe, because I bought those like back in April, and I just have not read them yet. And I think that's I'm going to start with the Six of Crows duology, which I know is going to become a trilogy at some point. So when I get to the second one, I'm going to be expecting a cliffhanger, of course. And I will try not to be sour about it. Oh, you guys, I almost forgot. So I also, I got this at Half Price Books. This is the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This is Queen of Shadows. And I don't think I need to explain what this book is about. It's a very popular series. I've only read book one, which is Throne of Glass, the title of the series. I loved Throne of Glass. I read it last year. But I'm going to have to reread the series. Well, reread the first book and then continue on with the series. But I also have another set of Sarah J. Maas books that are a trilogy, and you know what I'm talking about. But I will get to those in a second. The next book is called The Summer List by Amy Mason Doan, I think. This is about two friends, Laura and Casey, who were, childhood friends. They were inseparable. And then one day something happens and they fall apart. And one of them just leaves, moves, one of them moves away. But this person comes back and they rediscover their friendship. But at the same time, something threatens to tear them apart again. That's all I know. It's called The Summer List, and I want to read this probably next month because it's still summer, and I feel like reading a summer book. 1, 2, 5 more books to go. Alright, so the next book I'm going to talk about is the fourth book in the Trials of Apollo series called The Tyrant's Tomb. I had to think about that for a second. I don't know why. But yeah, this is the fourth installment in the Trials of Apollo. I'm not going to read these yet because I still haven't finished Percy Jackson and the Olympians. And I will get on that as fast as I can so that I can read these. I also have the first 3 behind me, as well as Magnus Chase trilogy. And yeah, I really need to get on reading these, guys. I've collected these since they've come out. And I actually did read a little bit of the first book of the Trials of Apollo series. And I liked it. And Percy shows up. But they mention some stuff from previous books. So, which really made me not want to continue it. Next book is Circe. I think that's how you say it. This is by Madeline Miller. She wrote Song of Achilles, which is another popular book I want to read. But this is about a girl named Circe who was born from, I forget the name of the god that she was born from. And Circe becomes fascinated with the humans. And her father and the other gods, become threatened by her. A little bit because of I guess she was told she would be a threat. But she does become a threat because she discovers her true powers, which lie within witchcraft. And she sends these she creates these monsters, I guess. And they threaten gods and humans. And the humans end up turning on her as well as the gods. So this is an interesting concept. Really looking forward to reading it. And last but not least, you guys, we have, and I told you I was getting to these, the Court of Akita trilogy. A Court of Thorns and Roses is the full name. So we have A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and A Court of Wings and Ruin. This is all by Sarah J. Maas. And I just found out, like a little over a week ago, that she is currently writing the 4th book in the series, which will be expected January of 2021, I'm sorry. So I'm a little upset by that because I thought, once I read these books and possibly the novella, I was going to be done with the series and then move on to Throne of Glass and finish that whole series again. Well, finish the first book and then read the whole series. So I'm a little upset by that. Same thing with Leigh Bardugo, who has said she has a trilogy in mind for Six of Crows, so no longer will be a duology. So it's whatever, I'm just glad that I have those books finally, and I'm gonna read them. Anyway, you guys, that was my book haul / current reads session that I wanted to share with you guys. But have a great night, get some sleep, and I will be back doing another video soon. I'll be doing a Want to Believe book tag, which was created by my friend Ramsey on his channel Rajathon. I'll be doing the Want to Believe book tag, so I'll be looking for that. And I'll link his video so you can see what that's all about before you watch mine. And then I will also be vlogging my first vlog for the Reading Rush. So I'm really looking forward to that. So anyways, I will see you guys later.